Christmas for the District Nurses by Annie Groves. Read by Alex Tregear. Chapter 1. December 1941. I don't see why I have to do it. Why can't you? Gladys shut her eyes and took a deep breath. She knew that there would be no point in getting angry with her younger sister. That never achieved anything. "Because I'm on duty this evening," she said calmly. Evelyn threw up her hands, groaning theatrically. "Of course you are. You're always on bleeding duty. Proper saint you are. How did they ever manage without ya?" Gladys took the 2 steps necessary to cross their tiny kitchen and reached for her gabardine coat that hung on the back door. She still hadn't grown out of the thrill of putting it on, of having her own uniform. She'd waited long enough to be able to join the Civil Nursing Reserve. She was damned if she was going to let her sister make a drama out of nothing yet again. "What's so important that you can't make a bit of stew?" she asked. Evelyn scowled. "I was going to do my hair." Gladys laughed. "Do what to it? Didn't you just do it?" "I wouldn't expect you to understand," Evelyn snapped meanly. "It's not as if you ever took any trouble with yours. Look at it, just hanging down straight, all flat and horrible." Gladys shrugged, pulling on her heavy coat. She knew her mousy brown hair was lank, but she was far too busy to spend hours curling it in papers, or hunting down bleach or whatever smelly substance it was that Evelyn used to lighten her carefully coiffured locks. "Not much point when it's mostly hidden by my cap," she pointed out. "Exactly," Evelyn pouted. "You're always down that blasted first aid post when you aren't running round after those district nurses in their precious home. You never have no time for us no more. I have to do everything and it's not fair." "Not fair?" Gladys couldn't bite back her instinctive response. "I tell you what's not fair. Having to miss nearly all my schooling 'cause Ma couldn't cope with all 7 of us. Working my fingers to the bone for you lot when I was only a kid myself. Only learning to read when I started work at the nurses' home. Even that was just good luck in that 2 of them made time to teach me. Now, when I finally get a chance to do nursing like what I've always wanted, you still expect me to cook for you first, so you don't have to give up an evening doing your hair." Evelyn wasn't impressed. "Oh, not that again. Poor old Gladys. You'd have hated school anyway. I know I did, so count yourself lucky." "Pity you didn't make the most of what chances you had," Gladys said, taking out a pair of navy gloves from her coat pocket. "I don't need school learning for what I'm going to do." Evelyn's eyes flashed boldly. Gladys paused. This was new. "What do you mean?" Evelyn folded her arms in defiance. "I'm going to go on the stage." Gladys stood still and stared. "You're going to what?" "Go on stage." Evelyn sounded more defensive now. "Don't look at me like that, Glad. I've got a good voice, I have, and I'm going to be famous like those film stars. I could be the next Vivian Leigh." "Your hair's the wrong colour," Gladys pointed out. Typical, she thought. She herself had a good voice, and it wasn't being boastful to think so, because one of the district nurses who was really musical had told her so. But she wasn't daft enough to imagine she could go on stage with it. A few carols around the home's piano were enough for her. "Anyway, I've got to go. There's a bit of lamb on the cool shelf in the larder and potatoes under the sink. Make sure they all wash their hands before they eat. Oh, and by the way," she halted briefly before stepping out into the cold of the December evening, "you might have to wait before you start your stage career. The government's just brought out a new law saying that every woman who's not married between 20 and 30 has to sign up for war work. I don't think they count singing." Evelyn snorted. "You're just jealous. I'm not 20 yet anyhow." "Not far off, though," Gladys shot back. "You've got, what, about 18 months to become a star? Then you'll have to sign up for the land army or whatever." "Never! I'll break my nails." Evelyn looked aghast. "But I tell you what, I shan't ever do what you do. I think
Sample complete. Ready to continue?